So I spent a lot of time thinking about the things that I wish I would have known before I got into tech. And I had to really take myself back to the early days when I was first getting into this field and kind of think about where I am today. And these are the top 7 things that I came up with that I really think would have helped me tremendously in my process into getting into this field. So I think they're going to help you as well. So the first one is you don't have to know everything about tech to work in IT. I spent a lot of time in my early years giving myself anxiety and just worrying about everything that I needed to learn in tech. Every time I heard about something new or something different, I would think that I had to know that. I had to understand that. And I would just get so overwhelmed in the fact that I just had this thought process that if I don't know this, then I don't know anything about IT. And that's simply not the way IT works at all. The truth is, you'll never know everything about IT. You'll never know everything about tech, and you can't freak yourself out about that. There's so much to learn that you literally just have to take it one step at a time. And you have to remember, in this field, it's a learning journey, and you will always be learning, which leads me to the next point. Always learning. Not that this would have changed anything, knowing this, ahead of time, but in IT, you are always going to be learning. And that's kind of, for me, one of the best things about it, because I love to learn new things. And, as I understood kind of this process or understood, really what I needed to know versus what I thought I needed to know, really helped me kind of understand this learning journey even better. Because you could be in IT for 50 years. You could be in IT for 100 years. You would never know everything that there is to know about IT. And that's intimidating, and it's also refreshing in the same breath. Because as you go through this field, you'll start to learn and understand the different things that you're interested in, which is going to help you kind of in your journey. It's going to help take you where you want to go. But it's refreshing knowing that as you're going through this journey, you will be learning all the time. You'll be learning the things that you need to know. You'll be learning the things that pertain to your job, or you'll be learning the things that you need to take you further down your journey. And that's a great thing. That's awesome. But for me, when I first started out, I was so worried that I needed to know all of the things. And the fact is, you don't need to know all of the things. You only need to know little bits and pieces until you start to specialize in the areas that you're interested in. So as you're starting out, don't think, I need to know all of these things, and if I don't know them, I'm, a failure or something, because that's really not the case at all. Sometimes it takes you a long time to learn things. Everybody learns at a different pace, and that is completely okay. Over time, as you're learning new things, you're going to learn about the best resources to find all of the information that you're looking for, which leads us to our next point. Google is your best friend. I've heard from so many people over the years who've asked questions similar to, is it okay to Google things in IT? And what happens if I get asked a question in an interview and I don't know the answer? I would normally Google it. Is that okay? Yes, that is okay. So if you're asked during an interview, how do you find, information or answers to things? You are more than welcome to say, I would Google it. In fact, when I worked in a hospital, I seen doctors Googling information about their patients so that they could find out what was wrong with them. Everybody, every single professional, no matter the industry, will turn to Google. And there are a bajillion other resources that you're going to find that are going to be extreme lifesavers for you as you start Googling things. You're going to learn about Stack Overflow. You're going to learn about Reddit. You're going to learn about Microsoft Answers. These are all great resources for you to utilize, and it's expected of you. So this all goes back to, you're not going to know everything, but now we know how to find the answers to everything. It's okay to not know something, but we do have all the tools available in front of us to help us find the answers, including the people that we work with, which leads us to our next point. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Every single IT environment is going to be completely different from one another. Even when you're learning IT, the ways that you learn specific things is going to be different, right? Any resource that you use can show you 10 different ways to do the same exact thing. IT is kind of unique in that way. And it's also unique in the fact that you need to be sure to ask questions because you don't want to do something wrong. You don't want to think that you know it all and do something the way that it was not supposed to be done. I could tell you from personal experience that I've been afraid many times to ask questions because you might sound dumb. We're all afraid to sound stupid. But when it comes to IT, the fact that really everything is run on technology nowadays, it's very, very important. So it's extremely important to the environment that you're working in that you follow proper procedures, protocols, etc. So ask questions to your team. If you're unsure of how to do something, ask somebody on your team how they want it done. And you can approach them in a way similar to this and say, in my previous experiences, I've dealt with issues like this in these ways. How do you achieve that in this environment? Now, you can be creative and come up with ways to ask questions that don't make you sound stupid, but what you want to make sure that you do before you go and ask questions to your peers is Google as much as you can. Get as much information about that issue as you can. And you could say to your coworkers, hey, I'm not sure how to do this. I Googled it, but it still doesn't make sense to me, or it's just not clicking for me. Can you please show me how you want it done here? But please, 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 please ask questions. It's very, very important to your success in this field. The people that you work with can be amazing resources, and they can even be amazing mentors as well. But it's important that you don't compare yourself to others. And that's the next point in this video. So often we see all the amazing things that our friends, our coworkers, and even just random faces on social media are doing. And it's easy to get trapped into having certain feelings about watching other people's success. But as my friend and mentor Heath Adams would say, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's so true. You cannot compare yourself to others because in this field, as I've kind of alluded to many times already, we're not going to know everything, and everybody learns differently, and everybody's journey is going to be completely different from one another. We all learn at different speeds. We all go through life at different speeds, but it's not a race. Take your time, and when you're ready to start making moves, you'll make them happen. But please, don't look at other people's success and start comparing yourself to them. It's a very toxic journey, and you want to be on the best journey that you can because you have to remember at the end of the day, you're the captain of your ship and it's your journey. So following up on that is understanding your journey. Everyone's journey into this field is different. Like we said, everybody's path is going to be different. You can ask 100 different people how they got into IT. You'd get 100 different answers. And that's honestly one of the greatest things about IT. It is such a vast field as we've covered. And that means that you don't have to be siloed into a specific area in this industry for the rest of your life. There are so many different possibilities that you have in this field. So once you start building experience, you can start venturing off into different areas that might be of interest to you. So for instance, if you start off in help desk and you're looking to become a network engineer or work in cybersecurity, you're going to find it much easier to transition into one of those areas of tech once you start getting experience. And the same can be said if you're a network engineer and you're looking to work in cybersecurity. Once you have experience, it's very easy to start transitioning to the different areas that you're interested in this field. So with all that being said, your journey can change at any time. And that's really refreshing if you think about it. You know that, hey, you're never going to be stuck in the same job for the rest of your life. You have a ton of possibilities ahead of you. The last bit I'm going to end this with is soft skills. And I really wish I would have paid more attention to how important soft skills are when I first started in IT. I, like many others, spent all of my time focusing on learning the technical skills that I didn't really consider how important the soft skills are. And you can ask anybody. In IT, soft skills are going to take you anywhere you want to go. They are so extremely important and they will help you tremendously. And when I say soft skills, I mean things like communication, both verbal, written, working with end users, and working with end users that are, angry, or working with end users that are just happy, right? We want to see you have experience working with these types of situations, right? It's a great thing to have when you're trying to get into IT. It took me quite a few years to master my soft skills. The quicker you learn to take yourself out of your comfort zone, if you haven't already, the better off you're going to be. So go volunteer places where you're forced to communicate with people. Go work a customer service oriented job. Join Discord groups and talk with people. Communicate with them over voice chat. That can be very helpful. Go join local meetups. That is also a very recommended thing to do because it will take you out of your comfort zone and it will put you into a pool of people who share the same interests as you, but it'll also kind of force you to, hey, communicate with people. And the last one, practice talking into a camera. It's awkward, and that's why it can help. Putting yourself in awkward situations definitely helps. I can assure you of that. My soft skills have probably improved tremendously just with speaking with people, just from talking to a camera all the time. As silly as that is, I probably visualize people's faces as cameras more so than anything else. It's helpful though. These are just all the tips that I had. These are all the things that I wish I would have known when I was getting into IT. And I hope this list of things can help you as well. This was just something different. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Take it easy.